Hello, folks. Welcome to SongBreak. Sorry about that. You got all of our starts there.
That was great. I think you should just play those and let's forget about the rest of this show. Let's just play the starts. It sounded great.
So thanks for being here. I'm Linda Sussman here with my co-host Josie Bello and our very special guest tonight, Eric Ramsey, all the way from Phoenix. So welcome, Eric. And
hey, Eric.
Welcome, folks, to our stream.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me once again, you two.
Well, we are thrilled to have you here.
We sure are.
So just a little bit about you, Eric, for folks who might not be familiar with you or your music. So as I just said, you're from the Phoenix area, but in the virtual space, it's just so great that we could bring people in easily from wherever. So thanks for making the time. I actually just, poured myself into your music the past couple weeks, and it's just wonderful.
And you still wanted to have me on, even after doing that? Really?
I spoke to Josie. No.
It was kind of late to change things up. But
what I saw was that you are quite a prolific songwriter with really thought-provoking lyrics. They're really wonderful. And your style of play, covers a wide range. You do a lot of blues from, slow bottleneck to more raucous style. So you cover a lot of ground in terms of your style, which is just great to hear, all the variations. And honestly, between your well-crafted songs and the sounds that you get coming from your guitar and your resonator guitar, I would challenge anyone not to be moved by what you deliver. It's just wonderful.
Well, thank you. Those are very kind words. Thank you very much.
And so people should know that you actually have a whole chest of awards that you've racked up. I'm just going to name a few. You were the winner of the International Blues Challenge for Outstanding Guitarist in Solo Duo category, the winner of the Memphis Cigar Box Guitar Award for Outstanding Solo or Duo Guitarist, three-time champion of the Phoenix Blues Society's Blues Showdown, a two-time finalist at the Telluride Blues Challenge, and many, many more. That's quite an impressive list. Am I correct that you have 7 full-length albums out? Is that right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. The most recent, I might have 8. I just did a compilation for that has more of my bluesier stuff on it. But I think there's one new song on that one, but all the rest are all new and are all original songs.
They're fabulous. And you actually put out 2 albums this year, I believe, and they are both great. And a single that I love, I think that was last year, called Please. But we will talk about all of this. I just wanted to kind of sprinkle this for people to have a sense of your background. And we are just delighted to sit and chat with you and hear some of your music. And we will start our show now.
Well, thank you. I'm really looking forward to hearing the both of you as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so I'll remove you guys from I'll remove Eric and myself from the stream.
All
and
right.
Linda will go first on our 3-way song swap today.
All righty. So it's good to be here. Another month, another song break. And I can't believe that I have not shared this new song of mine on any of the recent song breaks, being that it is the title track of my album that I released in July. So I thought I would share that tonight. So this is called Shake It Loose Today, and it's really about getting out of your own way and finding a way forward if that's the juncture you're at.
You gotta lick your wounds before you can dry your eyes. You gotta get down to the bottom, have yourself a good long cry. You gotta learn how to fall before you can learn to rise. chips are down. Move your woes to the far side of town. Get on your feet, step out of your way. Make some noise, shake it loose today. Get on your feet, step out of your way. Make some noise, shake it loose today. You gotta meet your demons and look 'em square in the eye. Shake 'em home to the floor and kick 'em down curbside. You gotta let 'em go. Oh, if you're gonna rise, push through the fog when your chips are down. Move your woes to the far side of town. Get on your feet, step out of your way. Make some noise, shake it loose today. Get on your feet, step out of your way. Make some noise, shake it loose today. You gotta choose your tune. You gotta shuffle your time. Get down to a new groove. You gotta lasso your mind. You gotta flip your beat. Oh, if you wanna rise, push through the fog when your chips are down. Move your woes to the far side of town. Get on your feet, step out of your way. Make some noise, shake it loose today. Get on your feet, step out of your way. Make some noise, shake it loose today. That's right.
All right. Thanks, folks. And we are going to bring Eric Ramsey on up and turn things over to you, Eric.
Wow, that was great, Linda. I think if we could do this in the same room, I'd love to play some slide on that. That'd be perfect for that. What a great tune. Wow. Well, I'm going to play you the title cut of, I think it's my 4th CD. It's called Road of Man. And it's about how we're all kind of in this thing together. One way or the other, we end up on the same team, whether we want to be or not. Well, you might know the gospel, or you might not know the truth. You might read the headlines and wonder what's the use. You might hate your neighbor and all they hold is true. Well, you'd better polish up your button that says, "What would Jesus do?" You might think that no one else can rock it like you can. You might not know where to look when mapping out your plan. Be careful where you turn. It might be too late to learn how to find direction out on that road of man. Well, you might be a cynic, but drop a nickel in the well. You might not believe in heaven, oh, but hope there ain't no hell. You might take precautions against the twists of fate. You might even take to praying and hope you're not too late. You might worry about your future and all those chances that you took. Something might be gaining on you, but you're too afraid to look. Your foot's hard on the gas, be sure to signal when you pass, or you might just miss that curve ahead out on that road to man. You might be judging others by the color of their skin. You might hold the keys to heaven or think you know the back way in. You might be corner preaching with hellfire in your eye. You might be in the shelter just trying to get by. Well, you might think day to day is more than you can stand. You might feel like you're trying to catch some moonbeams in your hand. Remember long ago, someone told you so. Nothing is the way it seems out on that road to man. You might beg for forgiveness, but not understand the rules. You might mistake some broken glass for the sacred jewels. You might think you're living large, or you might think you're dead. You might not recognize your Savior if she dropped right in your bed. You might whistle past the graveyard. You might spit into the wind. You might be just another innocent defending your latest sin. You might have all the answers. Well, share them if you can. 'Cause you ain't rolling solo out on that road to man. No, you got a lot of company. You better understand that you ain't rolling solo.
That was fabulous.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. And
Yeah.
now it's time for Josie Bello.
I don't know. After you two, I might just quit music.
Hey, go for. I'll do this, Josie. You go for it.
You guys are so good. Oh my God.
As are you. Okay.
Okay. So there was a point a few years ago where I realized that all my songs were kind of like depressing. They were all about death and getting older, and I don't know. And I thought, like, why can't I write a happy song? Like, you know. So I came up with this one, which is not exactly a happy song, but I realized that when I'm motivated to write by something sad, it's a lot easier. And that even singing a sad song can make you feel good, or listening to the blues. Sad comes easy when I'm singing, puts my heartache to good use, makes a win out of a lose when I'm singing the blues. 3 chords hold despair so neatly, pain fills the air so sweetly. That's the magic of the music when I'm singing the blues. Sing the blues, share the pain, make your sorrow fall like rain. Sing the blues, lighten your load, how it works nobody knows. Sing the blues, set 'em free, tell your troubles to let you be. Sing the blues, lighten your load, why it works nobody knows. That's the magic of the music when you're singing the blues. Sing your troubles and your world begins to change. You feel better, but the world is still the same. Why it happens, nobody knows when you're singing the blues. Pour your grief into a cup and sing it. Spill it out into the room, the people drink it. That's the magic of the music when you're singing the blues. Singing a sad song is gonna ease your pain. Sing another one you could only gain. You wanna feel better? Sing it over again. Sing the blues, share the pain, make your sorrow fall like rain. Sing the blues, lighten your load, how it works nobody knows. Sing the blues, set 'em free, tell your troubles to let you be. Sing the blues, lighten your load, why it works nobody knows. That's the magic of the music when you're singing the blues. That's the magic of the music when you're singing the blues. That's the magic of the music when you're singing the blues. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, that was great, Josie. I love that
Great,
song.
Josie.
Thank you.
That's the magic of the music right there.
Sure is.
Exactly. So, Eric, we have a slew of questions for you, and we're just going to get started here to get to know a little bit better about what makes you do what you do.
Bring it on.
All
I got
right.
my slew sheet right here.
So, how do songs come to you? Like, where do you find your inspiration? And like about the song that you shared at the top here, you know?
Well, inspiration comes from all kinds of places, you know. I think it comes from can come from the daily news. It can come from interactions you have with people on the street or your family, or it can come from books you read or music you listen to or any of those things. But I think for me, I have to be open to it. I have to be in a space and have the time and be ready to receive whatever's trying to come through, you know? You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you have a way to write songs? Like, do you have a formula or a process that you find yourself falling back to?
Boy, I'd like to say I do, but you know, it's pretty random, honestly. Sometimes you'll start with a phrase, Sometimes they'll start with a lick on the guitar or a progression, and there's really no rhyme nor reason. Is that for a songwriting pun? To the way they come, and sometimes they come, as I'm sure you found too. Sometimes you have to drag them kicking and screaming into the light, and sometimes that process can take years, and sometimes they arrive almost fully formed. So it's a strange endeavor for sure.
Do you keep a notebook?
I don't. But you see, what I've got, about 30 of these scattered all over the universe. And so sometimes I'll come upon one that's buried under a pile of stuff, and I'll say, wow, why did I throw that one away, But I don't, interestingly, you bring up a notebook. I just not too long ago finished Elvis Costello's autobiography. Have either of you read that?
No.
It's about that thick, and he writes like he writes his music. He's very, very literate and very wordy and very. It's fascinating, but he has notebooks with him all the time. Always has, and I get the idea that he's probably got them in some kind of chronological order, or he's ordered them by subject or something like that too. But I'm not that.
I wonder if I have a little bit of, sometimes I will think back to something that I scrolled, it's just like you're saying, a snippet of something maybe coming, and then I put it somewhere, and then I want to work on it, and it's like, where the heck did I put that?
That's right, and there's no way you're going to remember it without that little scrawl, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like coming up with stuff when you're first waking up in the morning or just going to bed, and you get an idea, and I'll remember that. That's so good, I'll remember that. And if you don't write it down, it's
Gone.
Yeah, I thought I was the only one. Sometimes I have like
Oh,
a
no.
whole song. I'm singing in the car when I'm driving home. I get out of the car. By the time the groceries are in the house, I have no idea what that song was.
Yep.
Yeah, that's happened to me too. And I've tried, I turn the radio off. I don't want to hear any other music because I have an idea in my head, and it doesn't stick around.
Yeah, I totally get it. So
I use the voice memo thing on my phone more.
Me too, a lot, a lot.
For
Yeah,
that kind
I
of
mean, for me, it's more, I hear things when I'm in the shower, and if I don't have my phone, with me when I can reach it and put it on in my notes, it's gone.
Uh-huh.
Now, Linda, do those end up being really good songs for you?
Some.
Yeah.
Some. And it's like what Eric was saying. For me, it's really early morning and late evening, like late. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I've heard that when you're doing menial and mundane things, that your mind isn't actually engaged. Like, you're not actually engaged in your shower. You're doing all those things automatically, and it's those times that your mind is free to come up with ideas like that and things like that.
Yeah. So
Do you
go ahead.
I'm
go
sorry.
Ahead. No, go ahead, Josie.
Which artists have influenced you the most as a songwriter?
Oh, man, so many, and from so many different genres. Jackson Browne, for sure. And John Hyatt, for sure. Probably, if I had to say one, it would be Jackson Browne, I think. And I don't really write like him. My songs aren't like his songs, but what I shoot for is the same kind of evocative quality that he's brought to every single album he's ever put out. It's just, it's remarkable to me how he can convey basically the same kind of ideas regularly in his album, but they're always different, and they're always spectacularly produced. He's always been I was a big Dan Fogelberg fan too when I was a kid.
Yep. Yeah. These are all masterful, lyricists.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really are.
I really liked Kate Wolf too. If you've listened to Kate Wolf, she's passed
Across
now
the
a long
Great
time.
Divide, I think, is my favorite song of hers.
Yeah.
Love
Yeah.
that song. Yeah.
And what about you? What influences do you two have when you're writing?
Oh my God. You know, for me, I'm an old folkie, you know, so my roots are in Pete Seeger, Tom Paxton, Phil Oakes, you know, and then a lot of artists from the women's community like Holly Near and Farron, and, you know, more lately, you know, it would be like Lucy Kaplansky and,
Oh, she's great. I
Dar
really like-
Williams. But how about you, Josie?
I think Emmylou Harris and Jackson Brown. You know, I love the Jackson Brown sound. I love, you know, how his records are produced. I love his band.
Yeah.
You know, especially the last album. I just thought it was great.
Oh
Yeah.
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 Yeah. That last. Yeah, it's terrific.
Yeah, and he said so many important things, so musically. You know.
That's what's really impressive. Is that he can take the most awful subject that people need to hear about and present it in a way that people will actually listen to it. And that's what a gift that is.
Yeah.
And a skill, I'm sure too. But
And that's the power of the song, you know. The song is a compressed version of what you need to hear, and it gets stuck in your head, and you just can't get a lot of people to maybe read a book, but, you know, you can get a song in their head.
right. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Well, you know, speaking about all these albums that you've done, you know, in terms of the instrumentation that you bring in around, you know, you're such a great guitarist, you know, around your
Thank you.
lyrics, and, you know, so what do you usually have on your albums, and are there any instruments that you haven't put on that you're experimenting with that you'd like to put on, or talk a little bit about that?
I like to play a lot of the instruments on my records, unless I'm not able to. If I'm not good enough to serve the song the way I think it should be served, then I'm happy to have. I have plenty of friends that are really fine musicians that are more than willing to play. But I like to do all of that myself. So typically there's acoustic guitar, there's often some electric guitar, there's often some lap steel. David Lindley was a huge influence to my slide playing when I was younger. And, I don't. You very often have live drums. It's usually a cajon and maybe some percussion. It's hard with the budget that I have to have access to a full studio with all that stuff. I usually record at a friend's house who has a studio in one of his bedrooms, and he's really, really good. He's a very good producer, and he's a wonderful musician. If you hear any really, really hot guitar playing on any of my stuff, that's him.
I don't believe that.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
Oh, I could point it out. Believe me.
Oh, well, I think, you know, two people can be great at the same time.
Yeah, he's more of a jazz. He has more jazz influence, so he hears things differently, and he'll play things differently than I would, and which is nice. It's a nice counterpoint to some of the stuff that I do. During COVID, I don't know if Musician's Friend ran all kinds of special deals where you could buy instruments pay them off for 5 years or something with no interest or anything, that kind of thing. And so I bit on that, and I bought an oud. I bought an electric oud.
What
which
is an oud? I don't know.
It's a Middle Eastern instrument. It's a Turkish and Egyptian, Arabic instrument. And it has 11 strings, one single low string, and then 5 courses of doubled strings. It's tuned to some type of modal thing. It's the low note is an F sharp, and then it's B, E, A, and D. Yeah, it's awful. It's awful, and it has no frets on top of all that. So there are just many ways for it to go off the rails.
Have you gone anywhere with it?
Yeah. I've actually played it out with my duo partner. We've worked up a couple of songs, but it's such a strange a strange thing. I haven't gotten the guts to put it on a record yet because I don't want to have to listen back to it. You know, once you play it live, it's gone. It doesn't matter.
Interesting.
But you know what? When there was nothing else to do and nothing going on, it was really helpful to have that new thing to just sit with and be with. And I had 5 years to pay it off, and it's just about paid off.
Wow. Okay, so now you have to really embrace it and maybe write a song around it so you can record it.
Yeah. I'll have to get a little better at intonation first before that. Have either of you played non-fretted instruments?
No.
Ever?
No.
I have enough trouble with the fretted ones.
Yeah, it's a different animal.
Well, I
entirely.
played non-fretted, like, a clarinet, but
Well, those have their own challenges, don't they?
They do.
Our kids both played clarinet and tried to play clarinet in elementary school and junior high band, and there's really nothing. There's nothing harder to listen to at 8 o'clock in the morning than
Squeaks.
a 10-year-old practicing a clarinet. Just so you know, those of you out there who are considering getting your child a clarinet.
We actually have a kid down the block who's doing that, and we can hear it here.
be kind
special about it,
to
huh?
the kids learning instruments.
Cuts through everything.
Oh, it's wonderful, though. We wish they'd stayed with it, and I wish I'd had opportunity to learn something like that when I was a kid. Because talk about playing anything, you learn how to read, and you can play in ensembles, and with that, if you follow that along.
Right. Yeah. So
How much of what you do, I'm sorry, Linda.
No.
How much of what you do is self-taught? Because you play a lot of stringed instruments.
It's all pretty much self-taught.
Wow.
I am taking some lessons from a jazz guy right now, trying to learn a little more about theory. And that's a language unto itself, jazz music. But it's fascinating. But everything else is just spending time with the instruments and
right.
being willing to sound bad for a long time until you feel like you can actually do it in front of people.
Right. And has music, been your primary career, or how did you get to this point?
Well, it's been a big part of my life for most of my life, but I only started playing music full time about 7 years ago. I was an electrician, and my wife gave me an opportunity to see where the music would go. So she's been supporting our family and me and my music for the last 7 years. That's the only way I could have ever done anything that I've been able to accomplish is with her help and her support.
Wow. Well, we thank her because your music is just so fabulous. It would have been a shame not to have been born and gotten out there.
Well, I will pass that on. Thank you. That's very nice of you to say. I thank her all the time. And apologize to her all the time.
Do you have a gig with another musician, living or dead or famous or not famous? That's your dream gig?
Oh, yeah.
Or even song collaborator, who do you want to work with?
Yeah. Well, I'd really like to work with T-Bone Burnett.
Yeah, who
Who
wouldn't?
wouldn't, right?
Right.
But I think if I could share the stage with somebody, it'd be Jackson Browne, I think. If I could do a song swap thing or something with him. If I could unclench my hands and get my voice to work. We had a chance to meet him, actually. We ended up with some backstage passes at a show in Phoenix. A bunch of years ago now, he was doing his solo acoustic tour. And we ended up backstage, and I've never ever been starstruck in my life, really, with anybody, with pro athletes or movie stars or anything like that. I was a blithering idiot. I just stood there with a stupid grin on my face. I couldn't think of a thing to say. Of course, my wife talked to him, and I said, "Oh, I really like your music," or something like that. Oh God! And he was so gracious. There were a whole bunch of people back there, and everyone wanted a little slice of Jackson Brown's time, and he was just gracious. He took his time with everybody, and it was very impressive. It was very cool.
Mm-hmm. Wow. I probably would have been tongue-tied myself.
Oh, it's one of those things where you wake up in the middle of the night and you know those cringy things that usually starts a cavalcade of cringe moments that you've experienced in your life. Yeah.
Yep.
That's one of them.
Yep. So where can people find your music? Where do you have it these days?
I have a whole garage full of CDs. If anybody wants those,
There you
I'm
go.
willing to ship them out.
Let's get your address. We'll come over.
I'm on all the streaming platforms. You have to be that way anymore if you want people to listen to your music.
Right.
You can always find stuff on my website. Everything's available streaming there, or you can buy individual songs, or you can buy the discs, you can buy the album downloads. And that's ericramsey.net is where you can find that stuff.
Yep.
But
Do you have advice for songwriters in general? Even ones that are just starting out or seasoned ones?
yeah.
Go to law school, I know.
You're in rare form tonight, Josie.
It's late. I'm getting delirious.
I think I would say don't give up and don't quit. And if you have something in your heart that you want to express it. And you'll learn the craft by doing. You won't learn the craft by not putting things out there. And you have to be willing to have folks sit there with blank stares on their face, or not pay any attention to you at all. We've all had gigs like that and experiences like that. So I think it would just be to not be afraid of the whole process, and your process will be different than yours, Linda, or yours, Josie, or mine. They'll all be different, and mainly just don't give up on it.
That is excellent advice.
Yeah. We had Shanna in a dress on. I guess you know her.
I know her. I'm going to actually meet her this weekend. We're both going to be at the Dripping Spring Songwriters Festival.
Yeah, that's right.
In Texas this next weekend. I've not actually met her.
Okay. Well, she said that she's a multiple award winner as well, songwriter. And she said she had to enter a lot of contests where she was just ignored as an entry before she started winning. Was that your experience as well?
Yeah, I think there are still some contests that I enter religiously every year and don't even get a whiff, like the
Wow.
Kerrville. But I think part of it is you have to learn what songs the particular screeners for the particular contests are looking for.
Yeah.
I think you have to be willing to maybe write in a style that's not your style if you want to enter a specific contest. I think the stuff that I do doesn't resonate with the Kerrville folk as much as other people do.
Yeah, they might be too folky or not too folky, but who knows?
I renamed my band after my last contest experience.
Yeah.
We're going to call ourselves Dead Last.
No, you can't start thinking that way, Josie.
Oh, yeah, it's a brutal business, right?
Yeah.
If you get to the point where you can call it a business, it's a brutal business because
It is.
there's so many people fighting for such a small piece of whatever success is, whatever they define success.
Yep.
And you have to I think you have to just put your best stuff out there and be happy that you have some best stuff to put out there.
Speaking of that, I think at this point we'd like to turn the spotlight back on you fully and give you the virtual stage. And if you can talk about the next song you're going to share, and then lay it on us.
Okay. I don't know. Now I wasn't. I got to think about what I'm going to do. Let's see. I guess I'll play a little. I'm sorry. I've got to close the door because my wife's trying to work in the other room and the dogs keep barging in. 1 second.
So, Eric, you have a nickname for your house, right?
Our house is called the House of Strays, yeah. That's because it's a second marriage for both of us. We've got adopted kids, and we have a whole bunch of stray dogs that we've adopted, so we're all strays here.
Very sweet. Okay, we'll get out of your way right now.
Oh, no, it's wonderful chatting with you guys. Thank you so much. Again, it's... This is called It's a Rough World, Baby. And it, you were asking about my songwriting process, and this one started with a line that popped into my head, and it wasn't really a line, it was a concept, and it was about Joseph and Mary from the Bible were having a discussion, and she just had a couple of questions for Joseph, and he had a couple of questions for her, and that's where this song came from. And then it sort of went downhill from there. It's called It's a Rough World, Baby. Joseph said to Mary, honey, tell me what's wrong. Why you so downhearted? Why is your face so long? Mary said, Joseph, this is why I'm so blue. If he's the Son of God, how come he looks just like you? It's a rough world, baby. It's a tough world, baby. Oh, but it's our world, baby. We're gonna have to try to get along. Angels and archangels gathered from on high, singing to that baby from way up in the sky. This world you were dropped into ain't ready for you. Gonna see a lot of trouble, boy, before you get through. It's a rough world, baby. It's a tough world, baby. Oh, but it's your world, baby. We're gonna have to try to get along. Now you may be like me, I may be like you. Don't lock us in a room with all those other fools. I would never tell you that you can't have any fun. I'm only suggesting that your work is never done. Poor Noah, he was thinking as the rain began to fall, I don't know how I will ever have room for them all. And Lord, you take a look down below that main deck. Tell me who's gonna help me clean up that mess. It's a rough world, baby. It's a tough world, baby. And it's gonna be a wet world, baby. Grab a shovel, we'll try to get along. You may want a halo, you might desire wings, you might choose to throw that all away for otherworldly things. The only thing that matters when you calculate your worth is how you treat your brothers and sisters here on earth. St. Peter at the pearly gates was reading from his list. The line was long, the penitents were getting kind of angry. Patience is a virtue when you come before the throne. You don't want to mess up now and wind up back down on your own. It's a rough world, baby. It's a tough world, baby. Oh, but it's your world, baby. We're gonna have to try to get along. It's a rough world, baby. It's a tough world, baby. Oh, look around you and smile, 'cause we're gonna be here a while. And it's a rough world, baby. But it's our world, baby. We're gonna have to try to get along.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you. It's kind of silly.
No, I
Oh,
love
no.
that song.
What a great message.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that was excellent.
As Michelle said, amen again.
Well, thank you, Michelle.
Yep. So we have a couple of questions for you that are just like real quick hits. All right?
Sure.
You good? Good to go.
Sure.
So what was your... What?
No, it's Josie the one that's getting delirious because it's late. I'm fine. It's only 5 o'clock here.
You can't go wrong with a quick hit. We call it SongBreak staccato.
We do.
Linda
All right.
gave it that name. I think it's perfect.
All right. So what was your first instrument and how old were you?
My first instrument was a trumpet, cornet, actually, and I was in 5th grade.
Cool.
First concert that you went to, and how old were you?
It was Dan Fogelberg opening up for the Eagles in 1974, so I would have been not born yet, actually.
I understand.
I understand too.
Let's see. I think I must have been 13. Let's see, 50. I was born in 58. I can't do the reverse math, but yeah, 13, 14, something like that.
Yeah, my math skills have really dwindled also. I'm a 57 baby.
We'll have to call this True Confessions, SongBreak True Confessions.
Oh my gosh. So your favorite food?
Oh, cheese enchiladas.
Ooh, yeah. First record that you ever bought?
Oh, God. Well, I'll tell you the first record that I was captivated by. I don't think it was the first one I ever bought. The first one I ever bought was a Beatles 45. It was, I don't remember which one it was now. But the first one I was captivated by, and I can still hear it and see it. And I was walking through a shopping center, and remember when record stores used to have their doors open, and they would have turntables, and they'd be blasting music out into the street.
Yep.
Well, I walked by this record store, and it was Grand Funk Railroad's "We're an American Band." They had just put it on, and it started off. That song started off with that amazing drum lick. You know that?
Yep.
So, and then I walked in and saw it on the turntable, and it was clear yellow plastic, the album. So that was an easy sell.
Mm-hmm. And how do you like to listen to music? Are you are you a vinyl person? Do you like listening to CDs or streaming, or what do you do?
I usually listen to CDs. I don't have vinyl anymore. I sold it about 20 years ago. Who knew, right?
Right.
Right.
And I generally don't stream because I think it's a wonderful thing for consumers, but it's a bad thing for artists. So I don't want to support that.
Totally agree.
Sometimes I do, but that's not my preferred method of listening to music.
Mm-hmm.
They make it so easy, though, you
Oh,
know.
sure. Yeah. It's great. It's great if you're a consumer. And if and when they figure out a way to properly remunerate the artists and the creative people involved, then it'll be a win-win for everybody. But they're pulling in so much money now. That's
exactly.
Doubt
Yeah.
that'll ever happen.
Exactly.
Are you a dog or a cat person?
Dog.
And what's your favorite movie?
That's a tough one. It might be
All right,
Sandlot.
top 3 then.
It might be Sandlot, just because we watched it about 1 billion times with our kids. Although, man, that one's in there. Monty Python and the Holy Grail is another one.
Yes.
Way to go, culture freaks.
Yes. Culturally depraved, not deprived. Do you have a favorite genre of music to listen to in your spare time?
I like just about anything. I like mixing genres up because I like the variety. So, but I suppose I love blues, but I love all the different genres of blues. I like the singer-songwriter stuff, but if you listen to singer-songwriter stuff exclusively, you want to slit your wrists, and it all kind of sounds the same. That's a horrible. I don't mean that in a demeaning way at all, but so, and I like jazz, but it needs to be some kind of jazz that has some groove I can hold on to.
Like
If
defined lines, yeah.
If it gets too far out there, then I get lost and nervous.
Yep.
And I used to love country music. I don't listen to it much anymore. I'm not a big fan of what they're putting out country music-wise now. Well, I guess Americana sort of has covered a lot of that stuff. But Emmylou Harris was.
Yeah.
I should have listed her as one of my favorite influences because she's man.
Yep. Same. Same. So in terms of performing, I'm sure you perform in many different arrangements, but what's your preference? Performing solo, duo, part of a larger group? How do you feel about all that?
It's been a long time since I've been part of a larger band. That was a lot of years ago. And I've performed solo so much that I really enjoy that. I like the spontaneity of it. I like the fact that you can take a left turn and no one gets lost.
Right.
That being said, I've been performing with a good friend of mine now for about 3 or 4 years as a duo, and we're remarkably similar in our songwriting styles and our instruments. We'll each bring 6 or 7 instruments to a show, and so we switch off all the time. And it's always, I love the interaction that you get with another musician on stage that you don't get as a solo. So I'm really enjoying that too, but for different reasons. Things have to be a little more structured, obviously.
Yeah.
But with a duo, you don't have to worry about organizing rehearsals so much, and you don't worry about personalities and things like that as much as you do if you're in a full band situation. Right. Can't be an issue. But
right, exactly.
So I like both of those, but for different reasons. One has a nice counterbalance to the other, I think.
And one last question. Do you have any hobbies, non-music hobbies?
Oh, I used to. I was a very avid amateur baseball player when I was younger. I don't do that much anymore because my knees have given out and things like that. But I guess this is awful to say, but I don't really think I have any hobbies at the moment.
How about rescuing dogs?
Well, I don't know that that's a hobby. I think that's a curse.
Oh.
Well, you could also...
You know what my hobby is? My hobby is picking up dog poop. That's what it is.
There you go. Now, that's a great hobby. You just have to find a good use for it, and then that would be really something you could monetize, maybe.
wouldn't that be? Maybe I can send some out with every CD I sell.
Oh gosh.
As a
Well, you know,
bonus or something.
it does seem like music is both your career and your hobby. It's just your love. So
It's your passion, yeah.
I'm very fortunate to be able to do what I'm able to do and what I've been able to accomplish, for sure.
Yeah. Well, I know that you've got a really busy performance schedule, and we really thank you for being here with us, Eric. It's just been a delight to have you on the show.
Thank you so much. I've enjoyed every minute of it, and if you get stuck and you want somebody back, please, I'd be happy to come back.
All
and
right.
if you ever find your way out west, look us up.
Will do.
Yeah.
Will do. Maybe our paths will cross at some music conference somewhere. But yeah.
I hope so. I'm hoping to get out to the East Coast next summer for some kind of a tour if I can put something together. So, and you guys are in upstate New York, right?
No, we're on Long Island.
You're on Long Island?
Yeah, so right outside the city. So yeah, drop us a line if you're coming this way.
My
for
wife
sure.
grew up on Long Island. She grew up in
Get out.
in Portchester.
Port Jefferson?
Portchester.
Port Chester's
Portchester-
a little
no.
upstate.
Now, what's it called? No,
Port Jefferson is on Long Island.
nope. Maybe I said it wrong. Portchester. She said they were half an hour from Manhattan.
Maybe
Yeah,
she was on the Hudson.
Yeah, that could be.
Well,
All right, but in the area,
anyway, yeah,
in the metro
okay.
area, that's great.
Wow.
yeah, I've never been there, so she keeps threatening to take me back there someday.
Oh, you don't know what you're
manage to do
missing. You got to come out here.
that. Yeah,
We'll help you hook up a gig in our area.
that'd be great.
All right.
We could do a songwriters in the round thing.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
Josie and I actually have been, we talk about it periodically. We're waiting to see what happens. No one knows, where COVID's going and what the next variant will bring, et cetera, et cetera. But, if we can at some point feel safe enough to have an in-person song break and get some of our past guests, and we'd have our songwriters in the round, that would just be fabulous.
Yes,
We'd love
it
to have you.
Would be.
Yeah. All right.
All
well,
right.
put me on the list for that.
All right.
if and
All
when
right.
that happens.
Top of the list.
Thank you
Okay.
both. Thank you both so much for doing this. Not just for your guests but for all the people who this may be the only opportunity, or has been the only opportunity that they have to experience music in a somewhat live setting. So thank you for your commitment to that. That's a wonderful gift you're given to the community.
Thank you for
Thank you.
calling that out. And again, this is Eric Ramsey with us from Phoenix, and you can find him on his website, ericramsey.net. So Josie and I will be back here in 1 month when we will be interviewing each other on our special birthday song break month show.
Nice. Well, happy
Yeah.
birthday to you both.
Well,
Thank
thank
you. Thank
All right.
you.
Take care, everybody. We'll talk to you and see you soon. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Eric.
Bye.
Bye-bye.